The activities of the People's Democratic Party, well, yes, they did hold their national NEC meeting, that's how they refer to it, and of course, you might have been following through some of them. It wasn't as smooth as perhaps it usually would be or expected to be. You had some people who were prevented from getting in. You had some people who sharply disagreed with certain things, governors, members of the House of Representatives, senators. The president had to wade in at the time also. And then they've got the congresses coming up tomorrow, if I get that correctly. And so some of those matters will focus on this morning. Well, Representative Yusuf Tajudeen joins us now. He's a member of the People's Democratic Party and also the Deputy Chairman of the Reps Committee on Information Communication Technology, ICT. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Well, some scenario playing out in your party because there's this tendency that, some even mistake the fact that some policies that happen in the party, they mistake it as though it was a policy of government because they're the ruling party, and so this kind of things happen explainably. But then, with all of those we see going on, especially that sharp disagreement between some governors and some members of the National Assembly, it looks as though that's not the last we hear of that matter.
Definitely.
How come? Wasn't that expected? This matter has been on before now, anyway.
It started last year, 2010. Towards the end of 2010, there was this group then that was seeking the privilege for National Assembly members to be given the first, offer of their ticket as a prerequisite to support the president's ambition then. And the idea of making National Assembly members a member of NEC came up to strengthen that school of thought position within the NEC. National Assembly members at that time, PDP has about 260, 270. You bring it 260, 270 House of Rep members and have about 80-something senators. I was out by then. I was in National Assembly. Definitely I was not in support of such move, because that such move will be inimical to my own ambition coming to the House. And the fact that I'm here now does not mean that I'm still supporting it. If such laws, those positions were inserted in the Constitution, I would not be here now. My application. Okay, so I would not support.
So are you saying categorically now that you are not supporting?
I am not in support of it.
Okay.
And what the drafters of that proposal came up with now is not a whole. It's everybody being a member. It's a one senators per state. That's just making about 36.
And members of the and one rep.
No, rep will be principal officers.
Okay.
They have always been part of the NEC meeting, so there's no change. The speaker, deputy speaker, they've always been part of the NEC meetings. So it's not a new thing. But the governors are seeking for 6 governors to be included in national caucus within of the party, because no governor is a member now. So, but these are normal in political. To me, politics is about cleavages and interests struggling for control. So to me, that's the beauty of democracy. What you have seen played out to me is like the president said, I'm sorry, but that is my opinion too. PDP remain the party that attempt to practice democracy in Nigeria. There are people who could stand to the president at his face and say, sir, we disagree on so and so. And he now agreed, let's go back and work it out. Ordinarily in elsewhere, it would have been the law. It would have been that the president had come out with a position and
it's interesting you say the party attempts to practice democracy, not that you're actually there already.
We're not still we're there.
But be that as it may, why is it that there seems to be this friction between the governors and members of the National Assembly when it comes to a host of issues concerning the party?
Like I said, it's about control. It's about influence. It's not about now. It's about, what's going to happen next? The NEC meeting should then naturally precede the National Congress. Tomorrow you'll be having the World Congresses where delegates will be elected. That is about who become the chairman of the party. It's about who become the secretary of the party. So who have control of the machinery of the party, as if you in the past, we must be very sincere with ourselves that the governors are able to kind of say, this is where we are going, and that's President in March as chairman. So it's natural that other groups who have not been able to, with such influence, will struggle for such. It's normal.
But is that a bad thing? For the governors to wield as much control as they do in the
It is not bad, just as it's not bad for National Assembly members to desire to have some level of control. It is not bad. It's politics. It is politics. The truth of the matter is that if it's the other way around, We're to be National Assembly member that has huge control. Governors too will come with a proposal.
To break that.
So it's not out of place that you find such things. It is the way it's being managed that now determine if the party will go stronger or otherwise.
Is there something that can be done so that there's none of the parties wield more power than the other? Is there a way there can be a balance?
It's a bit difficult, but my suggestion is, for now, shall I play the way it is? This status will remain for now, because getting the governors to be part of NEC and member of National Caucus is giving them too much. Presently, it's believed that they have enormous power, control over the party. So they should sacrifice the ambition of being member of the National Caucus, because the Speaker and Deputy Speaker and President are member of that of the caucus. They should stay with the control of the NEC, to me, so that whatever is not too palatable can become at that other level where you could add some flesh to some correction to it. To me, we should allow the way it is. The President has given instruction that everybody, the Central Committee, review all these. Governors are involved, the senators are involved, the party machineries. Don't forget, the legal advisor chaired the committee that came out with this proposal. The President, like the legal advisor. So go back to the drawing board, reach a compromise. There must be a middle way, I agree. There must be a middle way. Don't forget, PDP has a way of resolving this case.
How does it presently work? Because you say if they wanted to change the status quo, you will not be where you are now as a member of the House of Reps. How was it working previously? I mean, if that were to change, how will it stop you from coming on?
Yeah, at that time, the intention was to get every member into NEC and influence NEC decision that will give in the name of for continuity, experience, was a view, so that the practice should be that if you are a member of National Assembly, PDP member, and the party feel
at that time they wanted to continue in office, maybe give them a waiver or automatic ticket.
Automatic ticket. It was debated openly and with a view. So what I'm saying is that if that happened at that time, I want the privilege of going for primary. Imagine as a candidate, I will win an election. Don't forget, in Nigeria, you can only run an election on the platform of party. And that's what I'm saying. I said, if I benefited from this system, I should not come in now and kill such a system, because you don't know better. TJs are elsewhere waiting in the wing to come in. So I still feel the fact that the system allows some level of openness and what have you. You could come from nowhere. Like I said the other time, I knew nobody. My governor didn't know me. I won my primary before I met my governor. So I feel we should promote such.
So in your case, the process played itself out.
From my town, like I told you that way, about 10 that came out. Everybody went to the field. So if you have such a huge influence, I say whoever is there has a the first right of rejection, first offer, and he chooses to say he's going. Where do I stand? And don't forget, I said the proposal now is not to make everybody. Okay,
so now it's one senator from each state. So at that time, they wanted to make
every member of PDP National Assembly.
That was huge. So when now they whittled it down and said, look, just one from each state. Why are they still opposing it? It won't have the same effect as previous proposal, will it?
Just look at it from this perspective. The governors are 36 all, and PDP don't have 36. So one senator per state. There's no state PDP does not have a senator. So you have 36 members already. That's neutralized the influence of the governors.
Yeah, but they're assuming that they'll all be on the same page on any matter.
That is the assumption. Just like the governors are always on the same page when it comes to party issues. So the assumption is that most of these senators will definitely be on the same page. If they choose.
In addition to that, we also understand that 3 members of the National Assembly from each zone was also being suggested to join that particular committee, and I think that was also kicked against, because they said that it was going to bring the total membership to 72, just from the National Assembly and from both chambers.
3 members from each zone?
Yeah, 3 members of the House of Representatives from each zone, in addition to 1 senator from each state.
Each geopolitical zone?
Yes.
That's a huge. I'm not just getting that. I didn't get that information. And I think that is where the governors who are really, really, really freaking out. Look at it from this perspective. You have maybe 29, 28 PDP governors. you have 36 senators on one hand. You have the Senate President, you have the Deputy Senate President, you have the Speaker, you have the Deputy Speaker. Now you now have the 3 members you're talking about. So that's why the governors, I think the governors countered it by saying, okay, let's have all the Speakers of State Assembly. Let's have, so they feel they could have control over the Speakers of the State Assembly. It is just about the power. It's about influence. That is, I don't see anything, wrong about it. But what we must do, in whatever we are doing, we must seek to make sure we have a system that is to have a level of fairness, equity, that each block is represented. That is my proposal. Because today, you might think you are a governor and you want to exercise or do influence. Tomorrow you might be in the Senate chamber. Just like we have some
happens,
of them.
yeah.
So you now be struggling from the other end to undo
what you did while you were governor. Well, what do you make of the zoning that was, also done at that particular session of the NEC? Yeah. Are you satisfied? We understand that the national chairman is supposed to be zoned to the northeast, northwest, national organizing secretary and national treasurer. From the southeast, you have national publicity secretary, deputy secretary, and woman leader. That's about 3 slots. The south's got national financial secretary and deputy national chairman. The Southwest has also about 3 positions: National Secretary, National Auditor, and National Legal Advisor. The North Central, I think that's where you're from, is only producing the National Youth Leader. Are you satisfied with that kind of distribution?
Yeah, presently, don't forget that the North Central produces, in this present executive, the Secretary General, who is now the acting national chairman. And presently, the North Central has the Senate President. So what the party does is that party offices and national president, deputy senate president, or what have you, are rotated in such a way that to bring some level of equity and balance. And I am aware that the North Central is still demanding for the national legal advisor as part of the basket that should come to North Central. I know that is still ongoing. But I'm trying to make you understand, if you sit down and look at Southeast, you got what? Deputy Secretary
the Southeast
of the party.
Got National Publicity Secretary, Deputy Secretary, and National Woman Leader.
Yeah.
All this position is important, really.
Hello, every position is important. It has its own influence. And don't forget, the Southeast already has a Deputy Senate President, a Deputy Speaker. So all these are part of the basket. The party, like I said, the party is structured in such a way that every segment of the society of Nigeria nation is taken care of. So that is why it is called truly national party presently. I challenge any party that has such structure in this country to come up. I keep telling them, I have my friends from the other side, because of my background as student leader, they see clearly, I say, come, it's about the nation Nigeria. And don't forget, PDP remains the only party where members disagree on issues publicly. I have not been sanctioned for taking such a position. And later you'll be called and say, okay, we understand this the way you want it done, or what have you. Let's sit down. I say, the party to me is restructuring itself, trying to rebrand itself, and trying to come up better to deliver to Nigeria what Nigerians desire. I think if any organization that is not self-evolving, that is not trying to cleanse itself, is dead. So that's what PDP is trying to do.
On one hand, I have to smile while I say this. On the one hand, I find it very interesting that there is a position for the national woman leader. In other words, it's like there is some positive discrimination, that there has to be a woman, conscious effort to actually put a woman there.
Yeah.
But it also means that, at some point, women might be confined to the roles of national woman leader and maybe never aspire to roles of national chairman PDP.
That's a part. You could be right and you could be wrong, because there's nowhere in constitution PDP that a woman cannot aspire. But in spite of the fact that you can aspire for anything, the party deliberately say, women will reserve this position for you, so that in the event that no woman emerges from any of this position, there's a slot. And don't forget, PDP remains one of the few parties that make sure a woman running for any elective office does not pay anything.
As part of the policy?
Yeah, as part of the policy. You don't pay. You don't pick up the form. While we were paid about 1.something million for a form, a woman ran against me, she don't pick up the form. I went into the regulators. So it's deliberate. we must not deceive ourselves. We're in Africa. There is still it is a fact that we have some level of advantage over the women here. In some cultures here, women are not heard.
Okay, let me ask you, the issue of democracy. Would you say there's democracy in the PDP?
There's democracy in the PDP, but you cannot begin to say the degree. You cannot begin to say no, it is not. But you cannot begin to compare to other clime. And one way to say with ourselves, Nigerians naturally have we imbibed the culture of democracy? Our expectation.
If you say there's democracy, why was the issue of delegates, delegates being used to elect all categories of candidates being a problem? Why was that a problem?
Is it a problem?
It was not decided upon.
At the meeting?
Yes.
Hello. At the level of the party NEC meeting, you have a right to ventilate different kind of opinions. So what you are saying there is that people feel, okay, rather than delegate electing let's go to general primary. Let's have every card carrying member of PDP elect a candidate. What are democratic positions that are very valid? So when a group of stuff we feel, no, let's remove delegate, because the idea why some people feel that the delegate thing should be jettisoned is that some people believe it's so expensive. We allow some people to necessarily control and influence and then outcome of the primary. You can just sit in your house, somebody say this is the person I want because he has control over the delegate. But okay, we have in the world, you have about 2,000-3,000 members of the party, and they all queue behind their candidate. It will be difficult for you to manipulate that number. They're manipulating three. It's still part of the party trying to work itself out.
Mm-hmm. But is that matter over and done with now? Because the one that came to shouting match where the president had to intervene, get some other people to come and discuss.
It's not done with yet. I'm very sure. But I'm sure if people will sit down, you'll be surprised. The next time you hear a compromise position, they will have reached out to National Assembly, because whoever is going to emerge as the party chairman was you need National Assembly.
Yeah.
Presently, the PDP has in the House of Rep, we have about 214 PDP members. That's a huge number. You can't toy with.
One of the things that the PDP is famous for is the fact that there are factions even within the party. You have this person's faction, even within states. You have this faction of the PDP in this state and that faction of the PDP in this. Do you see this? In the last elections, for instance, in Ogun State, we saw that that one faction actually had to pull out. Some members remained in the PDP, of course, and then some other people pulled out. And some members of the PDP were supporting another candidate. That wasn't a member of their party, as it were. Do you see the PDP being able to retain itself as a unit, and not at some point these factions become too strong and this struggle for power become too strong, and then they break out?
I can tell you that most of the other political parties we have in Nigeria are offshoot of these things you're talking about the PDP. Most of the people you find in other political parties are ex this in PDP, ex that in PDP. Here the PDP is still standing. And you said during election, that is when Congress is coming. That's when you hear it. It is normal when there's power to be there's power being agitated or being marketed. Naturally, people want to galvanize their opinion towards the area they feel will benefit them most. And the faction, you call them faction, to me I see cleavages, I see interests that are normal. Don't forget political parties are interest groups coming together on the basis of capturing power to achieve certain position about government they think they believe in. So within that political party, you have groups who still have let me go Western. There are those who within the political party we don't want gay marriage. We support gay marriage. They are still in the same political party. So both groups is struggling for the policy that will dominate the party agenda. So what you find in PDP during the election is that 1, 2, 3 persons believe in the social candidate, and that's why I'm saying the party remain one of the few parties in Nigeria, the only party so far in Nigeria that at least try to implement some democratic principles. That's why people now go into primary and feel before the primary you want to struggle.
What about the issues of checks and balance?
checks and balance
in
the
governance,
party.
Yes.
In governance.
Beyond, within and beyond the party.
Within the party, that's why you have. I had my primary election. There was a National Assembly panel set up. You're not comfortable. You still move over to the NEC, National Working Committee of the party,
to look at the matter.
And I went through all that process with my good happening. I went through that. So the party has a mechanism. If you have
for checks and balances. So why then do we have issues of or allegations that governors control the state assemblies and all that? How does that act as checks and balances in the area of government?
Thank you. You say you have issues of governors controlling the state assembly. State assemblies will not agree with you that governors control them.
That's life of politics.
Yes, they will not agree with you. They will say it's a crime for them to have the same opinion with their governor.
Oh, okay.
Is that political?
That will be one argument. But while you're talking about, the fact that people disagree on different ideas, can you say the PDP has an ideology, as it were?
Yes.
What's the ideology of the PDP?
That's why I cannot give you a total ideology, but I can tell you that PDP is a party that believes that Nigeria as a nation must grow on the path of democracy, and that has, tangible. We'll be ruled by military for so many years. The tangible result that Nigerians have been used to. If you're in government, you want to see road. If your Nigerians are not good, that's why the National Assembly is under hammer every day. Why? Because Nigerians are not used to you just speaking and talking. Making laws and they are used to you. So PDP is as a party for now. To me, Nigeria is at the level of formative. Growing democratically. So okay. PDP as a party is desired to entrench our democracy and make sure that tangible results that will galvanize Nigerians toward democratic tendency. But it's a whole lot of booklets now on education, on health, on what have you.
The national chairman of the party, that position has been zoned to the northeast. And now, when that happens, you just suggest that maybe you have one or two candidates going for it. But how many are vying for that position?
As of last candidate, about 13.
Wow.
About 13. Yeah.
So it means that there's going to be a lot of politicking within the party.
Definitely.
Is there anyone that kind of stands out? Does anyone have major backing?
Sincerely, everybody stands out. When you come in contest, you have people like Bamaga Tuku, you have Sharif, you have, a whole lot of names that have been there that in their own right, everybody is a man.
And the rest of them. That's huge.
That's huge. And that's to tell you what PDP is.
How does it vote?
Where do you get such quality of men to fight for chairmanship of a party?
How does the party go selecting them?
Yeah, that's the process we are doing.
The election now.
The election, it will be at the Congress. Every member of National Assembly is an automatic delegate. The governors, the president, the speakers of state assemblies, and you now elect a delegate from the local government. What you're doing having tomorrow is 3 delegates from each ward that will now vote for a representative from each local government.
Okay, and the representative is not the chairman of the local government?
No, it's not the chairman. The chairman
has to be
the chairman
automatic
delegate.
Okay, so it has to be a card-carrying member, one
of the party, one from
Is that enough to represent the desires of the rest of the local government? Shouldn't there be
don't forget the process. Wards are electing 3 members, 3 delegates. So they are already participating. Everybody is already participating. You express your opinion through the delegates you vote for.
It's very interesting, sorry Nyota, but it is interesting that if a process was this clear, why would there be this clamor for control at the national level between members of the National Assembly and the governors? Because it seems that the members of the National Assembly have a grouse with the governors because of their strong control over the delegates. How is that possible?
Yeah, it's just, you don't forget the fact that presently, as constituted in the country Nigeria, the governors for now have reasonable control and influence in the states. So by implication, now what people are insinuating is that the delegate election, you have commissioners, you have AC and what have you, all go return back to their ward. To make sure, because to me, of a truth, there's nothing wrong that they have done. All they have done is use their influence to get the person into office. So they get back home. The zero delegates.
Sorry to butt in. Please define influence.
Influence. I am the governor of a state. There's a delegate election coming up, and I want Mr. A to emerge as my party candidate. I go from the ward level to go and to make sure I put my people into the delegate list by making sure they are voted for to emerge as delegate in that ward. And when it comes to local government delegate, I make sure that I galvanize the opinion of the people towards my candidate.
Is it possible that influence would also involve finance?
That is the assumption, but I am seated here and I can say to the glory of God, I went through the process. My governor never used money against him. He had a candidate he preferred, but he didn't use money to influence any delegate against
him. Okay, you're speaking from your own.
Okay. So I can't speak for where I have not said from, but it's possible. Even when it is not money, we assume it is money. It is possible. Why do I need to spend if I'm a governor of a state and you are my commissioner? Don't you have influence in your ward? If you can't have influence in your ward, then you have no business in my government.
Comment on this, if you will, because another assumption that's out there in the public domain is that some Nigerians who think that members of the House of Representatives, even senators, don't actually confer with their constituencies, but they just come forward to the floor of the House and say, well, my constituency wants this to be done, whereas it's for their own, maybe sometimes personal interest.
It could be right and could be very wrong. We are about 8 months old now, so I can't speak for the sister assembly.
From your experience.
From my experience, I have a template. I'll lay down a template which I run with. I meet with my people periodically, and every 3 months I try to sit down, have a bit of town hall talk with my people, and issues that body like constitutional review and what have you, that require going back to your people. You might not gather your people all this, it's not possible, but you should have way of galvanizing, getting their opinions. Like last December, I had my town hall meet throughout the constituency. I documented every opinion that canvas. But it's not that when it comes to the issue of a road to be constructed somewhere, naturally I should know that my people need road. I don't need to go back to them. So this opinion, like I said earlier, is about the Nigerian people perspective about the National Assembly so far, and I don't blame them. The National Assembly remains the only institution that exists only in democratic setting. But there's no time you don't have any other arms of government. So Nigerians they are yet to come to terms with the reality that the National Assembly is a needed part of government. They've been used to other arms of government. That is why it is a big news, and it's big one if the National Assembly buy a Camry for its member. Yeah, but if a local government chairman buys a Camry, it's not a big news. It's the same kind of Camry.
So,
because of our number again, don't forget.
It is, you've said what you've been trying to do. Are you also trying to tell them what the function of the National Assembly should be? I mean, this your town meets that you do.
Definitely. I have on social networks. I try to do that long time. One thing about value and opinions is that it's not a thing you just barge in one day. It has to be a conscious effort, and it must be on every block. That is where I think some of us are failing. It's not everybody that is thinking of really educating Nigeria, and that's why I'm sorry the press need to help us, and the press is not doing enough in that perspective. Our people must realize that these are our representatives, and you have a right to tell them your opinion. And there is their responsibility to take your opinion, because everybody cannot be National Assembly. That is, you have your representatives. So until that is thoroughly ventilated, for now we have to manage with what we have. We hear some things about being a National Assembly, or the expectation of people. People believe that as a National Assembly member should be the one paying the school fees, should be the one tying the road, and what have you. So how do you explain to a man who is living in an environment for the past maybe 20, 30 years that there's no water, there's no road? He voted you in, believing that when you get there, you bring resources at the road, forgetting that all you will do there is to make sure you lobby for projects to be put into budget for that constituency, and that the power to make sure it is executed is not in your hand. So when you come, you have failed if the roads is not started.
But what about the issue of your constituency projects that you all signed? It is believed that you all sign up for these monies.
Thank you. I've discussed this here before, if you remember. No member is giving a dime for constituency project. Believe you me. The best that happens is that you push at this level that come, my people need road. So if it is appropriated for, you push it and now say, okay, in my tenure, I'm able to push this road. No member is giving a dime for constituency project. And the time this thing became an issue was between 2004 and 2009. They now begin to say, okay, to solve this issue, member A, you have about 30 million naira that you can choose project that will do in your area under Ministry ABC, and the ministry has the right to award it to whoever they say. Your job is to nominate nominate the project and the location.
What about the budget? Don't they increase the budget?
That's what I'm saying. That's when they discovered that there was pressure from National Assembly to say no. Our people expect us to be able to put roads on ground. There are certain projects that are peculiar to our people that you do not know sitting in Abuja there, but we are in touch with the people. They now came up with that. But between 2009 and 2011, it was stopped because of this. National Assembly member has constituency project. People now, even now, a lot of members will say, "Come, we don't put us into this kind of trouble again," because Nigerians assume that we take this money. And a lot of time, I won't lie to you, I've seen the budget, I've sat down, I've seen projects that were appropriated for that were not done. So a lot of time, the power play again comes into the power play between the executive and the National Assembly. So it's like National Assembly want to use such projects to buy support. Yes, in my tenure, I got this done. The executive, if you are not a good time with them, they have the power to determine if the project is done or not.
There was this debate once upon a time that the National Assembly was seeking to see if they could give some more force to their resolutions such that it will be binding on the executive to carry them out.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when they pass those resolutions, they, in their perspective, think that it's usually just dismissed with a wave of hand.
Yeah.
But what's the latest with that?
Yeah, the House, like I said, is reasonably a matured House. Some people out of emotion because it's frustrating. You see, most of our work, 80% of our work are motions. And you come up with these motions and somebody just somewhere and feel, since it's not in tune with my position, I just leave it there. But at the same time, the House is debating it now, saying, if we turn motions into law, then where is the bill, the lawmaking process? Where is the bill? Because before something becomes an act, it goes through certain process. Motions don't go through such process. So what we need more is for understanding, for people to understand that resolutions of the National Assembly are not just people who said that may come up with opinions. It's a resolution of Nigerians' opinion about certain position. So for now, the House refused to give backing to such a motion because the proposal was that a motion that is concurrent in both houses. The House of Rep or Senate makes a motion on a particular issue, the other arm of House collaborate or concur with it, it becomes a law. We now see this because motions are not, you don't have a privilege of doing in-depth, study or analysis about issues discussed in motion. We do public hearing. So if I just wake up today and say, I don't like Mr. ABCD to be chairman of so thing based on one or two allegations I have, and somebody have a contrary information that will neutralize my position, and that day for the mood of the House it was carried and demanded. So that is why the caution was exercised.
What would you tell some good hands out there who always say that, well, Nigerian politics, I'm not going to delve into because it's not a place I think I'll fit in, no matter how good or no matter what I think I have to offer. Because if you went through your stage without, as you say, your governor intervening or using funds against you with his candidate, what would you tell those people?
Peter, apart from Christ, remained the only man that walked on water. Wow. He stepped out. It's a bid me call. He stepped out. If you do not step into the ring, you can't win a bout. You can't be a champion. A lot of time we sit back and we expect people to give what they don't have. A man cannot grow beyond his capacity. So most of the time we say it is bad. It will be bad if our first 11s are not involved. I imagine people's ambition that have been killed because I step out. You think the position will have been vacant? Somebody will have been there. So we must step into the ring, and we must begin to define politics the way we see it, not the way they want you to practice it. There are people in my constituency now who have felt the they don't bring to me, because from day one, don't get into power and begin to attempt to change their. Start from campaign. Make it this way that if I don't win with these principles, I don't want the position. But when you step out, you want to win at all costs. You must compromise every disposition. When you get in there, yeah, I mean, we started this way. Why will you deviate?
Some of these people have, permit me to use the word, have been bitten once or twice, and they've come to the conclusion that this game is a dirty game and they don't want to get soiled
into it.
How do you think they will be encouraged to go in?
They should look at people like me to encourage them. So don't forget, no system, when you come to power play, no system will reach power to you just easily that way. And when 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 try, one gets it. It's an encouragement. When 20 try the next time, 2 or 3 might get there. And you don't expect the system to change in a day. There are people who, I'm sorry, for lack of better, who should not be contesting governorship, who should not be running for presidency. Imagine a house or a senate that have most of these opinion leaders and activists. I'm sorry, I say opinion with divided commas because some are not come read, they are come and read. They come to read, they are not comrades. So if you have, imagine these people running for House of Rep, House of Assembly members, imagine what you have in National Assembly and State Assemblies. But most of the time, maybe I call it a bit of intellectual arrogancy. I'm too big for this level and what have you. It's about service. So I agree that those who have been burned several times will feel discouraged to step out. But that should not stop us. Because you must realize that the responsibility of changing this nation, Nigeria, cannot be left in the hands of people who have nothing to offer.
Okay. Since you're in the ring now, is politics dirty?
Politics, it depends on who. The politics is not dirty, but politics, it becomes dirty if the practitioners, whoever is involved, is dirty. I sit here publicly to others, nobody ever comes to me to say, well, how do we plan to attack this man? Because he knows he won't sell, I won't buy it. But the moment you are accommodating such tendencies, it will come back on you too. Throughout my campaign, I stand at 12 midnight, I go alone, I go places alone 12 midnight to knock on people they assume should not work for me. And I talk to them. So, but where you always believe that you must, I sit today, I don't have the police escort, I don't have anybody, I drive myself. But our people, like I said, the opinion of our people, the perception they say about politicians too, determine what you get.
Okay.
Because people believe that when you're in position, there should be a true lockload of boys that follow you all over and say babao. That is the only time they appreciate the fact that you're